Bella the Berlingo has a problem, so join me as I try and find out what it is. It's an engine issue. It's causing a lot of kangarooing and lurching below 2000 revs, especially if you're doing something like 30 miles an hour in fourth gear. What is it? Here are a few possibilities. So it's the 2-litre HDI engine. It's turbocharged, 90 brake horsepower, no intercooler, just turbo goes straight in to the inlet effectively. There are a few possibilities. There could be an air leak on a pipe somewhere, but I don't think that is our fault. All the return lines are in place. Well, I do see a little liquid just down there. It could be water. We've had an awful lot of rain. It might be worth trying to drop something in and have a sniff of that. So that's an option. There's an EGR valve. I think this is the pipework for it here, down the back of the engine. Not much fun to get at. The EGR valve could have seized. That could be an issue. The flap could have seized open or closed. It recirculates exhaust gas into the intake, and the idea being getting rid of those nitrous oxides that are particularly bad aspects of diesels. They're really not very good for you at all. So that's what that is meant to do. But the flap is in the exhaust. They can seize, they can get gunked up. Remember my Rover 75, I took the EGR valve apart and cleaned it out, so that could be a possibility. I don't really want to go there though, because that's not looking much fun down there. There could be an air leak just in a boost pipe, so it's worth going through the entire air system. This is the MAF repaired by Tim at Cambrian Classics, because the clip's actually broken on the wiring plug. I have disconnected the MAF, the mass airflow sensor. It has made not one bit of difference to how it runs, so I don't think it's a MAF issue. What else could it be? It could be the injectors themselves. 181,000 miles on these injectors now. It could be the injectors are just past their best. Maybe they're clogged up with a tiny bit of dirt, not given the right spray pattern, especially at light throttle. That could easily be a thing. But unfortunately, we're not getting any fault codes. There is a diagnostic port on the Berlingo. Shut up, Bella. Under here. So to take that flap off, we've got a diagnostic port here, but we're not getting anything at all through that. Leanne over at Whiteland Restorations, when I first got this car, we were trying to get to the bottom of why the airbag light was on. We know that, it's the connector under the seat. I need to take that apart and remake it. But her computer wouldn't talk to this. I've been to my local garage, his computer won't talk to it, and he's like, something's not right. He plugged a different box in so we could check whether there was any electricity coming out of here at all. He was getting absolutely nothing. So I need to go through the fuses, try and find out what covers what, and see if there's anything blown that might be causing that to not give out any information at all. Because if we can get some fault codes, assuming there are some, it gives us a clue about where we need to look. Otherwise we're getting into replacing everything, and we don't really want to go there. Just quickly, another point is engine mounts. But I put the car in gear this morning, rocked the car back and forth. There's a bit of movement, but about as much movement as you'd expect. So it's not like the whole engine is rocking around loose in there. So I think the engine mounts are all right. I think the fact it feels like an engine mount is just because the engine is not pulling cleanly, and it's got a slight misfire effectively. It's not doing a clean burst on every pulse of injector. So yeah, I need to get the book out and go for the fuses. No, I think I've been sold a dummy here. My garage, I already started to question it when it started saying that everything after 1996 was OBD2 compliant. It seems not. I think I'm right that these are not OBD2. You need a Lexia, Citroen's own blooming system, to talk to it. So I can't talk to it, I can't interrogate it to find out what's wrong. Even though I've got this topped-on unit, which is not sponsored content. This was actually given to me by a friend, very kindly. But regardless, it isn't going to do the job. The only car on the fleet this will talk to is actually the Daihatsu, and it has been useful for that. But yeah, we're done. This is becoming a problem because I can't interrogate it, so I can't actually find out what's wrong with it. This is really, really irritating. Oh, shut up. That does my head in as well. So I'm going to put this back in the Daihatsu, as it's the only car it'll talk to. Speaking of which, hoping for a little progress, we're going to be back up here in a couple of days to try and get a manifold, maybe this one. Might have to take this one off so it's ready. I could do that today. That would make me feel like I'm doing something useful. We'll try and repair that, and then we can actually get this car back on the road, which would be useful. I could really do with something else on the fleet that is good on fuel, because that surprisingly isn't, because it's a 1 litre automatic. The Chemy's really good. She'll do 50 to the gallon easily. Giselle's not bad, but I'm not bringing Giselle out this time of year. Look how wet it is in here again. Ellie's quite good on fuel, but again, she'll just rot away if I drive her through a winter. Bob's here, gently filling his tarp with water. So I need to try and empty that off and arrange that in a slightly better way. So yeah, there's plenty for me to be getting on with. But it looks like I'm not going to easily get this one solved. We'll have a quick look around just in case we can see anything obvious. I don't even know if there are vacuum lines. Is that one? Is that a vacuum line? I don't know. These look like, I think this might be fuel returns. Well, it could be vacuum, but they all seem pretty together. I can't see any leaks anywhere. Oh, it looks like it's hidden off brakewards. But yeah, the EGR, I really don't want to go getting that out. I don't think it's right down the back of the engine. I believe there is something you can do to disable it, which might be useful for testing purposes, but if the flap's jammed open, that doesn't tell us anything anyway. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating. So I don't really know what to do. And now it's starting to rain. Joyous. So yeah, that's been a bit of a waste. This is a great thing about being a YouTuber. You think the content sort of flows out nice and easily, and then it just doesn't. You end up making a video that is nothing at all. So yeah, if you've got any thoughts on the matter, please do let me know. But it's no good really just trying to guess what the problem is. I need to try and get a steer on it. Otherwise I'm just casting about in the dark, and there's too much money you could spend just going, oh well, I'll replace the MAF, I'll replace the EGR valve, I'll replace the map sensor if there even is one, and you still end up nowhere. I don't want to go down that road. You go online, this is quite a common issue, but it seems there is quite a lot of different reasons why. So very frustrating. So there we go, just another short little video of hopelessness. How very Hubnut. Farewell.